Oh, Extra Emily, what have you done? I've defended her a few times in the past. I kind of like Extra Emily. She's pretty funny. I defended her when she was refusing to pay her parents back for her college that she didn't use. I defended her when people thought she said the N-word, and she definitely did not say the N-word. I don't think I'm gonna be able to defend her on this one. Extra Emily effed around and found out after using DMCA takedowns to silence critics. You don't do that, man. It's one of the worst things that you can do when you misuse the copyright system. So many people have fallen because misusing the copyright system. Come on, man. Does she not, like, actually use the internet? Is she only watching brain rot content?
Hey, what's up, guys? We're up here. So today we're going to be talking about the OTK member, Extra Emily, who finds herself in another round of controversy. Recently, she had some good news. She was announced as a professor at the streamer university being run by Kai. Unfortunately for her, a lot of people are wondering if the class she's going to teach is about
Anybody who's involved in this kind of stuff is just, for one, is just super lame, and another, it's just like embarrassing. Because everybody knows this isn't gonna last. I think these rich streamers are doing things at this point just to do things. They're trying to like set trends. But if you're doing like a streaming university and you're teaching people how to stream, and everybody starts streaming like that, then it's not gonna work for anybody. And it'll only work for the people who are doing something different. So this is gonna fail. So this is just gonna be like an embarrassing thing that's like super cringy. I don't even know what.
DMCAing your critics on social media, because that's what she's facing right now. You can see right here this user reporting that Extra Emily filed a DMCA claim taking down a clip they shared of her recent stream where she was talking about the very controversial tuition situation going on with her parents.
I'm gonna call it now, and I'm gonna say there's gonna be all kinds of problems popping up with this streamer university. Probably like fraud, mishandling funds. There's gonna be something with like people fighting. There's gonna be drama. You know, they're gonna not be doing the things that they were supposed to do. Things aren't gonna turn out as good as they hoped. In a lot of cases, they're gonna starve people or some shit. It's gonna be like Mr. Beast stuff. This is some Mr. Beast type shit
that she's been dealing with for the last couple of months. This is obviously not a good look, and just another example of a controversy she has put herself into. So before we get into the actual clip here and some of the responses and potential lawsuits that might result from this, let's get some background on the last couple of months and the controversies she has been in. The first one is this, where she was getting canceled left and right because people believed she said the N-word in this clip. Let me play it. You can be the judge for yourself on this one.
That's 3.
Bruh, Russell, that's not even true.
So she had an explanation for this because people were trying to like ruin her life over this.
Yeah, it sounded like she was about to say, Nick, that's not even true. Like, but she said the wrong name.
She said, y'all, 13 million views on this. In order for this to be true, this part has to be true, and she had to have called her friend the wrong name. It could have happened, right? It could have happened, but obviously this is Twitter, so people are very angry about this possibly occurring. But this one is very serious. The next one that happened in April of this year is one I talked about on the alt channel very briefly, where she was suspended from Twitch for a day after running through a red light while streaming.
Okay, just don't be streaming while you're driving. Or don't be handling a stream while you're driving. Because you're distracted. No distractions while you're driving, man. You know this. I think she should have been banned for longer, but money. Can't keep her banned because then money. You know? Doesn't matter. She's a piece of shit. Out of touch streamer. She's never actually gonna see any like real life consequences for anything.
She was not just, you know, hanging around talking to the chat. She was actively looking at it as she was going through an intersection where the light was red for several seconds.
I better see all the pink. Yes, yes. What's this? Ah! Oh, ooh. Okay, keep going.
I don't know if this is like, do I keep going? She's actually retarded. I don't know how else to say it. She's also a woman driver. Oh, I'm gonna catch some hate for that one. But no, for real, she's like actually got half a brain.
Okay, I'm stopping. Okay, we're good. Okay, no problem. That happens all the time. In Austin, you know, like, the stoplights here are...
So she's saying she runs red lights all the time. I don't do that. I don't think I've ever ran a red light. Maybe once when I was following somebody and they ran a red light and there was nobody around and I was like, shit. Just did it out of fear of losing them.
Are really long.
Hi,
So
Emily.
usually I just go past.
Which is fucking illegal. Are you serious? You cannot do that. One good time where you're halfway paying attention, or there's a car that's the same color as a building that's behind the car, is when you're gonna kill somebody.
Thank you, Gibberish, for the Prime. Appreciate ya. Why did you? It's fine. Like, people do that, you know, as long as it's yellow.
This clip to me is pretty egregious. I don't think there's any good way to defend this. It wasn't like this was just some very close red light. It was...
Yeah, it's not like it was like yellow until she got up there and it switched to red. No, it was already red.
Red for like 2 seconds before she even approached the intersection. Look, a lot of people, they get caught in no man's land when they're driving where the light goes yellow and you have to make a decision. Do I apply the brakes firmly and wait for the red light, or do I maintain speed and go through the light and hopefully get past it before it goes red? This was not that situation. It was a firm red for seconds before she even got to the intersection, and it's clear as day that she was distracted by her chat that's only there because she's streaming, trying to monetize every aspect of her life, even driving around in Austin, Texas. Really bad look, and of course she got a 1.
Like, I could see, you streaming while riding around in Austin, Texas, but with somebody else controlling the stream and also you not looking at the chat. I could see that. This is fucking stupid.
1-day suspension for this, where she arguably put other people at risk by doing this. But a few months prior to that, back in January, a very rough January for ExtraEmily here.
This lady is actually a menace to society. Are you shitting me? Like, I get it, it's kind of funny that she does stuff like that, she's ditzy, but this is fucking dangerous. Like, legit, she could kill somebody.
She had another controversy that people thought was the product of some dangerous decisions, where she was checking out a Glock owned by Mizkif, and she started waving it around. Now, this Glock was not loaded, but anyone who cares about gun safety whatsoever knows you treat any gun like...
This is what I'm saying with, like, all these people, man. They're like 5-year-olds, but their bodies got older. In their brains, they're still 5, but once they became the age of adults, they were able to do adult things. But they're still 5.
It is loaded. You don't start waving it around in the direction of other people. This is the clip, and there's 2 things that are just kind of mind-meltingly stupid about this.
Here's another. You have 2 magazines.
They're clips.
Sorry, clips. What's this? A magazine?
No, they're all clips.
Oh.
They are magazines, by the way, so he's wrong, and he can't even explain the difference between the 2 because he's wrong. But anyways.
What's a magazine then?
It's different.
Oh, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then you go bloop, and you go.
Oh my god. Like, they're all retarded. They're all retarded. I don't know. What happened, man? Did Twitch figure out how to monetize retards? 'Cause that's what it seems to be like.
Shit, Emily fucking
There's nothing in here.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, that is a crazy clip right there. I mean, she pointed at him, at herself. I mean, that is nuts. Again, number 1 rule, you treat every gun like it is loaded. There's no excuse for that. And she's been to shooting.
I don't think anything would have changed if she thought it was loaded. I think she still would have not been paying attention and still aimed it at others and herself.
Ranges before. She should know better than this, and I think that's just common sense generally, even if you haven't had any experience with a firearm. But of course, there was one.
I don't think that she goes to gun ranges to fire a gun because firing guns is fun and learning to defend yourself is fun and actually being in the, you get it. I think she thinks it's funny that her, as a moron, because she knows she's a moron, is shooting a gun, and she thinks it's funny that people find that dangerous.
One major controversy that's going to underlie what we're going to talk about for the rest of this video in the DMCA claim. Back in what month? January, there was another controversy where she revealed by her own action that her parents spent $170,000 on her college tuition, which is of course for a degree she's not using, but I mean many such cases in this world. But she admits this, and it's not because her parents don't want her to pay. She makes it abundantly clear publicly to her chat that she just doesn't want to, which is a problem because...
Yeah, that's kind of shitty that you're like driving that wedge between you and your parents, but it's shitty for ExtraEmily and her parents. They're both being shitty about this. The parents should just forget about that money, and ExtraEmily should pay it back. So they're both being shitty.
She is a millionaire, and a lot of people think it's selfish to borrow all that money, and the parents in the clip say they practically went broke as a result of spending all this money, and then to have the flippant attitude of, well, I don't have to and I don't want to. It didn't get received well by her chat to the point where she ended up crying on stream.
Yeah, of course she did. Gotta feel bad for the rich lady getting called out for being out of touch and retarded.
I think that would be your best gift towards your dad or your parents, to pay back your tuition.
I'm never gonna pay it back though.
Wait, actually?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, she thinks it's funny.
But you could.
Yeah, but I'm not going
Wait,
to.
do you have student loans?
Yeah, student loans to my parents.
And you're making them pay it off?
No, like my parents paid, and then they're like, pay us back for college, and I just like don't want to.
Okay.
But don't you think that would make them like really happy and proud?
No, they're fine.
She's right about that. She is. Like, they should still be happy for her and not ask for the money and be fine about it. But she also shouldn't be a piece of shit about it like this. And she should pay him back.
Are you doing it kind of like almost out of spite? Because you're like, I don't want to because like I can, but I know that you guys don't need it.
Yes.
That's why you don't.
Yes, they don't need it. And I'm
You
like,
don't need it.
I'm just a bad daughter.
You are.
Yeah, it's fine. The only reason they
This is like she's actually evil. Like, you see the way she's acting about money. I know so many people who are like this too, where they're gonna take care of themselves and nobody else, even though they've already been taken care of, but they just have to have more and more and more, and they don't want to get rid of any of it, even though they're not using it.
want me to pay it back is because I'm a streamer.
Yeah, you should pay it back.
Because I didn't use my degree. So they're like, okay.
How much is it?
170K.
You should pay it back.
I don't want to.
Oh,
I mean, I did pay them 10K, and then I was like, I'm over this. I don't want to pay anymore.
Mom,
Do you think it's a waste that I went to college?
that is a really good question.
And she just milks it. She just keeps milking it. What an evil piece of shit, you know? I actually didn't care about this situation. I had so many people latching on to me being like, you're a piece of shit for talking about this. ExtraEmily's parents deserve that money. They paid for her whole life and she didn't even use it. Then she's being like this. And I'm just like, I really don't care about this. I think the whole situation's hilarious. Because these evil people are always showing everybody how evil they are. And nobody actually cares. People are still gonna pay her money. Because they don't care. And I'm still gonna react to it and make fun of them. And call them evil pieces of shit. Because I don't care.
I spent a lot of money on that. And then you become a streamer.
Ooh, money, money, money. Cry some more about it.
But I'm also helping
something.
That's a really good question. I don't know how to answer it.
But I'm paying you back for college.
Yes, that's right. That's unnecessary.
That's necessary?
Yeah, we're almost broke because you went to the college, go to the expensive one. Yeah.
Okay, so what's it?
No, you know what it is? It's exhaustion.
Yeah, I think I'm just exhausted.
It's exhausting. Listen, if it makes you feel any better, at least your parents still talk to you.
Yeah, my parents are cool.
I only got one left.
Like, my parents are like overall really happy and think I'm a good daughter.
Now, later on, she would try to say that this was more of how her and her mom interact and it wasn't supposed to be that deep. And maybe there's some truth to that, but just admitting.
She's just a child. Like, she's acting like a child about it. Like a 10-year-old girl. A 10-year-old girl who borrowed $100 from her parents to buy like a dress, pair of shoes or something. Was gonna pay it back, then never pays it back. You know, parents always ask for it. It's the same situation. She's just a little fucking child.
Off the cuff that you just don't want to pay it whatsoever, despite being someone who is very successful at what they do. They've made a lot of money in their career. It obviously rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and she took this very personally, and a lot of people were on her for this one. So she would make a public response saying that she is paying back the tuition. She says pay.
So, okay, so she gonna do that? I bet not. Bet she isn't gonna do it.
Paid back like it's completed. That is not clear here. It seems like she's still actively paying her parents back for this money. I'll explain that in a second. But she admits in her explanation that if it wasn't for this whole controversy, she probably never would have changed her attitude on this and probably would have never paid any more of the tuition back to her parents. But she provided proof with this lump sum right here for $46,000. And a lot of people are like, whoa, this is getting so parasocial. Like, everyone's up in her business. She shared this with her chat. She initiated this whole thing. Nobody would have known about this if she didn't so openly share it without.
Like, I really, really don't care. I really don't. What I care about is reacting to all the stupidity. Like, my mind is actually blown that she just kind of instigated all of this, and then she just kept instigating it. Because, does she think it's good content? I mean, I guess it is for me.
Without understanding that it would make people have a negative impression of her. But of course, I point out this number right here because it's not the entire total. It seems like they're on some sort of an agreement, a payment plan or something where she's going to pay it off over time. So just keep that in mind because it's relevant to the clip that got DMCA.
I wonder how long it's going to take her to pay the rest of it. Probably never.
So back to this tweet made by the account Yeet here, who makes a lot of clips of various streamer drama and stuff like that. So you can see it's been taken down with a DMCA. And in this case,
Here we go to the juicy details.
she was once again streaming in her car and she had her dad on speakerphone, where you can see this caption applied to the clip. ExtraEmily's dad asked the question, "Did you pay your college tuition back to us yet?" And Emily says, "Don't bring that up. I'm gonna get canceled." And then a DMCA takedown was applied after this clip would go live.
So, could you let me know? Did you pay the tuition, your college tuition, back to us yet?
Yes!
She just straight up lied. Straight up, she just lied right there. Still gonna be one of the most successful streamers. Nothing's gonna change. I don't even know why this whole thing is a drama. It wouldn't have mattered if she paid it back or not. She's still an evil piece of shit. I don't know. Like, who cares? Who really cares?
This year?
Yes!
I never heard a mom say
Dad,
that.
don't bring that up! I'm gonna get canceled!
Yeah, cancel what?
Canceled on the internet! I'm hanging up. Bye.
Okay. So your chat heard this, okay? They can check it. You know. don't
Bye,
forget it.
Dad.
Okay, so why you avoid this topic and you?
Cause I got so much hate for it! You don't even know.
Oh, for this one? For this issue?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. We want you to pay us back happily,
Yes.
not get any burden or something.
I'm hung up.
I think she's got the word toxic banned in her chat because I keep saying people say yoxic, and I don't see anybody saying toxic. So I think that's a thing. And straight up, 100%, this chick is just caustic, man. She is a ruiner.
My dad is gonna go crazy. I'm gonna get another clip. I'm gonna get canceled again.
So to make two things clear right now, number one, this was a DMCA takedown of a stream that she already nuked herself. But she obviously felt some sort of a way about this clip and how that phone call with her father went down.
She needs to be careful. She's dipping her toes into lolcow territory, and she already kind of was one. You don't want to be a lol heifer.
She got nervous, insecure about all this, and now she's not only nuking her own stream, she is DMCAing people like Yeats who are going out of their way to post this for archival purposes or for criticism, what have you. And the other thing I want to make clear here is I'm going to give some leeway to Emily here. I think her father was joking. I think he was kind of teasing her, like that's probably their humor that they're doing. She's in the process of paying it off, and he's just kind of teasing her because, you know, she got canceled and now they're trying to laugh about it, right? So I don't really understand doing a DMCA takedown. This is like the lowest of the low. When people resort to stuff like this, it's always going to cause a lot of controversy. This was a very bad decision. Was that clip so bad it was worth using a DMCA takedown to silence anyone reposting it? Absolutely not. And on top of that, you have this discussion people are having about the legality of this. Is this a fair use or an actual fair application of a DMCA takedown? Was this a fair use post that was made by Yeats here? I think you could debate on it. The consensus generally seems to be, well, if you're posting a clip from Twitch with some sort of archival or even point of criticism attached to it, that should be protected, and people are taking this very seriously.
I think that if you post something to social media, then it is shareable and people can grab it.
But overall, you can have a much more simple question without even thinking about the law. Just ask yourself, was this a smart idea?
Yeah, is this gonna hold up in the court of public opinion? Probably fucking not. But she's too stupid to think about that. Or she would have prevented all these dumbass dramas that she got herself into in the first place.
And I think anyone looking at this objectively knows that was a bad idea. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. This had the Streisand effect. This clip is now getting way more attention than it ever was going to, and it shows that she's insecure about it and wanted it gone completely, no matter what risk to her reputation comes with it. And
then why didn't she just fucking pay it? I don't get it. Why? It blows my mind, man. These people are insane.
Also keep in mind, she never DMCA'd the other clips we looked at. So she's saying this one in particular is so bad, it has to be shut down, not the other clips.
Yeah, she did it on a whim. She did it as a reaction because she was upset when she saw that.
With the N-word thing, the gun clips, or the red light stuff, all of that was left. But this one, for some reason, was so triggering, it had to go. Important to keep that in mind. And also, you can see people in the...
That's because she was emotional in the moment about it, and this is just happened to be the one that she did, that she was emotional about.
Posed community notes, trying to abuse that system to get a note applied to the tweets, which doesn't really make any sense because it says, the post contained a quote, "Did you pay your college tuition back to us yet?" Without context, this quote may be mistaken as she hasn't started paying, which is inaccurate. This new context clarifies Emily has confirmed she's already begun paying. Well, that doesn't really match up. If people are getting confused on this direct quote from the clip, that's their problem. And I think we're all in agreement. The way it sounds, she's at least starting to pay. So this note doesn't...
Yeah, starting to pay doesn't mean that she's paid. I'll see it again when it's all paid back. But when's that gonna be? I'll check back in about 6 months. We'll see. When she gets canceled for something else again.
Doesn't make any sense, is trying to add this for additional context to try to discredit the clip, which again, it's kind of weird trying to discredit a post that contains a clip and a quote directly from the video itself. Kind of odd, right? But anyways, Dan Saltman would actually weigh in on this, and quoting it, the previous post would say, "Initiate a counterclaim. I will pay 100% of the legal costs. Clipping for criticism is fair use. Lifting an entire stream is not." And that seems to be how most people understand this system. And that's why when people use DMCA takedowns or abuse the YouTube copyright system to take down people reacting to clips or criticizing clips, people get very outraged. That's kind of like the general terms I think we've all just agreed on, right? And legally it makes a lot of sense. But of course, Yeet would then quote that, tagging ExtraEmily, saying, "Release the claim or I will counterclaim with Dan's help and seek restitution and attorney's fees. He won't settle either. LOL. Last chance before this spirals out of control for you."
Oh boy, yeah. She's way too stupid to not get herself into situations like this. She's gonna have to have handlers to not get her into situations. She's an actual menace. And I love to see stuff like this, man. You gotta push back. People like to take advantage because they got money. People with money need to latch on to people without money who are being taken advantage of by people with money.
This is so extra, no pun intended. This is what's happening, right? Mountain out of a molehill. You had this clip that looked a little awkward, could have been explained away with a reply by Emily or a quote or a separate tweet adding additional context saying, "Hey, he was just joking around. I'm still in the process of paying, blah, blah, blah. This is just our sense of humor." But instead, they use a DMCA takedown that's leading to a potential lawsuit. And of course, some people might not understand this lawsuit. Oh, what are you going to get back? Well, it's about setting a precedent, right? We don't want people doing DMCA takedowns on people sharing clips for the purposes of criticism. That is a standard people do not want to see. Any content creator does not want that to become a reality. And now we have Nick Polum here, who's also a member of OTK and a friend of Emily. He would weigh in on the situation, referring to Yeet here, saying, "Low-key, he self-reported he's broke, needs another man to pay his legal fees." And then says, "Oh yeah, I hope he goes to court, ha ha ha. I'ma go watch." So, two things. Number one,
Low-key, he self-reported he's broke. Bro, go fuck yourself. Like, actually. That is the most piece of shit thing to say when it comes to content creation. Oh, you're gonna take it to a higher level with somebody else's money because we took advantage of you because you didn't have money? Way to tell us all that you're broke, bro. Ha, what a loser. You broke loser. And as a guy who is also broke, seeing a rich person say that, go fuck yourself.
I think this shows how out of touch this guy is. If he thinks the average person can pay for a lawsuit like this, the average person probably can't. And getting some extra help from someone with more resources.
The average person is waiting for their next paycheck so they can have money again.
Just makes sense. And also on top of that, I don't really think people appreciate someone like Nick pocket watching a random Twitter user and also talking about legal fees and court processes when this guy has his own court processes to be worrying about. He's going through a public divorce right now where his ex is trying to get 50%. Okay, he's going through this right now. I think his attention is better served on that. That's not brought up to shame the guy for going through this. It's just,
I wonder what that divorce was about. It probably was something to do with the fact that he hangs out with so many women.
To show the misuse of his attention and time on this situation that arguably has nothing to do with him versus dealing just a little bit more of his attention to something he's actually going through in terms of a legal process. And he also talks about restitution over what, the 50 cents that the tweet didn't make? Again, I guess it's all about money with this guy, but the point of a lawsuit...
It's always about money. It's always about money. And to people without money, it's not about money. It's about having to get money to fight against the people with money because that's how they fight you. is with money. So we have to come up with crazy ways to fight back. And this is it. And we'll fight over $0. We will take your ass to court. We will band together for something that costs us 50 cents. Like, if you fuck around and you try and set precedent for an entire platform by doing something shitty like this, you're gonna get thousands of people backing it. Because if it wasn't that guy, it would have been another guy. Or another guy. Or another guy. Or a group of people. Good luck. Good luck, NMP. Lol.
Like this is to set a precedent saying, no, you're not going to abuse a DMCA takedown to silence people sharing clips of you for the purposes of criticism. It's really that simple, and I guess it's supposed to only be about money. Interesting. But anyways, he would also make this cope reply. He would do a very interesting strategy, as we'll point out in just a second, but he says, can't wait, right here, replying to one of the previous tweets made by Yeats. And of course, as pointed out by Yeet here, he unblocked this account, left the reply saying can't wait, and then reblocked so he couldn't reply, which is a very cowardly move, something that is definitely showing that they don't want to have any sort of honest interaction here, but they want to come off like they're puffing their chest out when in reality they're still kind of halfway hiding. But anyways, that's the situation. A small clip with minimal attention now getting blown up and possibly resulting in lawsuits and all kinds of feuds.
Let's go. I hope it blows way out of proportion. Be more content for me to react to. All these streamers, they're probably not going to have jobs in the future. I think streaming's going to lose popularity and we're going to move on to something else, and all these streamers are going to be out of touch, not know what to do, and they're going to be like the celebrities of old. Be doing commercials and ads and stuff. That's what they'll be resorting to. That's what they already do most of the time anyway. It's already getting to that point. Anyway, I got t-shirts down there in the description. You should buy one. I'm out.